really quickly, I'm not going to do my regular intro. Really quickly, I want to talk about something that's going on right now. And that has to do with Nate Parker. You can tell by the title of this video what I'm going to be talking about today. Honestly, I just needed to record my thoughts so that people can see where I'm coming from. I felt like I would be at a loss if I didn't speak and say something about this whole situation, knowing that I publicly have supported Nate Parker in the past, and with everything that's going on and his film coming out soon, I feel like I have to say something. So, okay, where do I even start from? Nate Parker had a situation. I know a lot of people have heard about it by now. Nate Parker was in a situation where he was accused of raping a young lady along with his co-worker, well, his roommate at the time, I believe, or his friend at the time, and also who he wrote the film, The Birth of a New Nation, that's coming out soon. He wrote the film with him back when they were at Penn State. And apparently this is someone that he had relations with before, and on this particular day, the young lady said that she was unconscious, and Nate Parker, along with his friend, raped her. How do I even address what I want to say? The thing about it, is I remember, maybe not with this film, but maybe long ago, because I've been a fan of Nate Parker for quite some time. I looked on his Wikipedia page, and I remember reading, that he was accused of rape when he was in college, and I literally, it went past my brain, and here's why it went past my brain. It went over my head rather, and this is why it went over my head. He went to a school that was predominantly white, and as a black man, and knowing that he is married to a white woman, I know that maybe his preference was probably for white women, maybe all of his life. And there are so many countless situations where black men have been accused of rape by white women, and it has been a lie. And I can, admit that I immediately thought that this is what the situation was, because on the Wikipedia page it said that he was accused and acquitted for a rape charge. So I'm thinking to my head, they accused him of rape, they found him not guilty, it's in his past, whatever, moving right along. Nobody had ever said anything about it, since he had movies, you know what I'm saying? He was in The Secret Life of Bees, he was in The Great Debaters, he's doing all this different stuff. Nobody's talking about this rape charge. So I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking like somebody falsely accused him, and now it's, and now it's not an issue. But the recent findings, I should say, of this case kind of opened up my eyes to that something might be a little bit different with this, which is what changed my stance altogether. It seems like, okay, with what the transcripts, I guess, from the court case is what has come out, and it seemed that he was only acquitted of this, or the charges were dropped or whatever, acquitted, because he had already had sex with this girl. Now, that already raised a red flag for me, because just because you had sex with somebody once before, I don't care if they're your wife, I don't care if you guys have been married for 30 years, if she says you raped her and you raped her, there's no excuse for it. Like, did you actually go against her will and do what you did? You know what I'm saying? So for me, that was like a red flag. And I did not read all the transcripts, but I read a few of them, and some of them saying something like the girl was maybe unconscious. I guess she was passed out drunk, and Nate Parker was engaging with her, and then motioned for his friend to come in for him to also, do such. And there's also another eyewitness that was saying that he was also invited to this same party, saying, hey, we're going to go in here and handle this girl, do you want to come? And that is disgusting. I cannot think of any instance where that is okay, especially if the girl was unconscious. Now, unfortunately, the young lady who the young lady in this situation committed suicide, I think 2 years ago. And that's crazy to me. She can't defend herself. You know, there's no more talking about this case. It's not something they can bring back up. But what bothers me about this situation is two things. And it's going to come out wrong. So just listen to everything I'm saying before you respond or before you comment. My first problem with this is, why did anyone wait until he was coming out with his own film that was so successful? I mean, after Sundance, the buzz was crazy about the birth of the new nation. When the trailer came out, the buzz was crazy. Everybody was excited, like, this black man is doing something great. Nobody said anything about this case. Nobody. This stuff on his Wikipedia page has been there since, I think, its creation. So it's been there since the early 2000s. Or 2005. I'll say 2005 at the latest. It's been there, but nobody said anything. Why is it now that he's about to come out with this film that somebody brings up the transcripts from the case? The same, I mean, to me, somebody was out to get him. That's just my personal feeling about it. Somebody was out to get him and said, I don't want this to be as successful as it looks like it's going to be, so I'm going to put this information out there. Or someone found out about this. I mean, it's not, I can't say found out like it was a secret. Like I said, it's been on his Wikipedia page. So someone saw it and thought that they would look further into it, and when they found what they found, they were surprised and decided to, you know, leak that information, or you know, make it public information, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like the intentions were to destroy him with this new film coming out. And secondly, the biggest issue that I have with this is Nate Parker's response to the questions about this case. On 2 separate occasions, he answered questions saying things like, well, that's in my past, and, you know, I was a child and I did childish things. Excuse me, sir. You were over the age of 18 years old. I don't want to hear this child stuff. If this was a situation where you were 5, 10, even 12 years old, and you made some mistakes, I would take that kid excuse. But at 18 years old, with the future ahead of you as a student athlete, there are things that you need to be held responsible for. And I feel like it was a cop-out. And rather than take responsibility for what it is that he did, knowing that it was wrong, knowing everything that's going on with I mean, the way that we are just, the response to rape in this country is ridiculous. It seems like every single time it's always a woman's fault, and it makes no sense to me. His response was it was terrible. His response was not that he cared. His response was not that he felt that he made a mistake and that he needed to pay for it. It was just like, don't worry about that. Worry about my new movie. What? And this comes from somebody who, like I said, I was a very big fan of Nate Parker. I was even sitting here calling him my big brother. Like, I looked up to this man. And to know that he doesn't even care, it's like, well, whatever, that was in my past. No, bruh. It's not something that you can just put off like that. And I think that's the biggest disappointment for me. And I think that's the reason why I am so unexcited about his film now. And I'm unexcited about him as a person. He did not own up to his mistakes at all. It sounded like he was just trying to pass it off as, well, I accidentally stepped on somebody's shoes. So what? It's in my past. Focus on my new movie. And I just can't do that. I cannot ignore the millions of women in this country, in this world, who are being silenced. And the fact that this young lady has now passed on and she cannot even defend herself any longer, it's heartbreaking. So for me, it's a no for me, Nate Parker. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. It's just a no for me. I was so excited to see the birth of the new nation. I was so excited for his career. But at this point, I just can't. I can't, Nate Parker, because you're not responding in a way that's apologetic. It seems like you don't care, and that's a problem for me. So anyway, I would love to hear you all's thoughts and feelings about this whole Nate Parker situation. I'm not going to call it a scandal because it's not a scandal. The man is a rapist, and he raped somebody, and now he has, what, 5 daughters or 6 daughters or something like that. And he feels that the correct response is focus on my new movie. So anyway, that's all I have for you all today. I'll see you next time right here on Black Girl Cinema. Bye!